What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga. This time I'll be reacting to volume 9, the chapters The Fallen Hawk and Demise of a Dream, which I think is going to be covering Griffith's kind of encapturement and I'm not really sure what to call it. I was going to call it enslavery, but he's not really a slave, is he? He's more of a kind of torture subject. But really looking forward to that today after, again, a bit of a gross chapter last week. First chapter was absolutely awesome, seeing Guts in the woods meeting Skull Knight for the first time, just kind of reminiscing on his time with the Band of the Hawk, and asking himself the important question, was it really okay to like kind of leave that behind? Again, it's a little bit too late now, of course, but again, some really interesting stuff in that first chapter. Again, kind of skipped over the second chapter, to be honest with you. I went quite quickly through that, as again, I didn't really want to see that for the third time. But like I mentioned, it was actually reasonably short in the manga, funny enough, and I thought it was going to be the complete opposite. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more surprises like that in the future as well. Make sure you let me know what you guys think of these chapters though down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. And let's get right into it, guys. I imagine we're probably going to see some quite disgusting imagery today as well with Griffith, but this I don't mind so much. Again, it's almost deserved. Well, it is deserved, isn't it? Maybe not. Well, I'm not sure if it's to this level of deserved. Like Griffith turns into an absolute, like what you'd think a grape looks like when it gets turned into a raisin. that's a one expression. I think it is deserved to an extent, isn't it? To an extent. I don't know, it's a really tough line with calls like that on like sexual assault and rapists and paedophiles and such. I mean, paedophiles, like, I've got a really hard stance on. I'd definitely want death penalty to almost any paedophile. But again, there's always kind of circumstances and such, even to something as disgusting as that. So again, who am I to say? But personally, I'm reasonably strict on kind of stances like that. Yeah, we see, I'm not going to talk anymore because again it does get quite political. What are these? Oh god, almost look like chopsticks, but I imagine that's in some like boiling hot liquid. But he's actually in an okay state at the minute, Griffith. He looks to be in an okay state right there. Griffith. It had been my great hope that someday you would have shouldered a large part of Midland's army as a military genius. Those words I said to you then were no fiction. There were not a few who slandered your group as a band of thieves, but I didn't think so. There were not a few who slandered your group as a band of thieves, but I didn't think so. Each time the Band of the Hawk distinguished itself on the battlefield, it heightened my assertion. For some time I've held that a knight's merit is not derived from lineage or social position, but that the stress should instead be placed on his actions and use of resources. Bit of a choppy start, apologies guys. But that the stress is because, again, it's just got this old English type of linguistics going on, but that the stress should instead be placed on his actions and the use of resources, which Griffith is very good at, of course. Makes some very assertive decisions and actions and uses his resources to the best of his abilities, as we see with Guts. And we haven't seen too much of it so far, but I think we got a better look of it in the anime. I think in the anime there were a few more kind of battles, wasn't there? Again, I would have much rather them took out the battles for more of the content they left out, like the Skull Knight meeting, but it is what it is, I guess. However, whipped right in the chest. Oh, bloody hell. Ugh, I'd hate to be on the receiving end of something like that. That's what I do find myself quite interested. I'm quite a paradoxical person. I find it quite interesting that I'm a real big fan of horror movies, have been my whole life, but the slightest thought of getting like even stabbed just makes me feel horrible. Like something going through your body like that and then being taken out as well, and then they're just leaving a big gap and going through your bone and that whole muscle, and yeah, it just makes I'm not like squeamish of blood or not afraid of blood or anything, but just the fact the hole can go in me, and I'd still be alive feeling it is the scariest part, I think. I've always been quite scared of being stabbed. In UK, I think it's it's a decent thing to be scared of. I've never seen. Well, I remember back in year 7 when I was probably about 12 or 13, maybe younger. There was this kid who did bring a knife into school, said he was going to stab some people up. I wasn't that scary or anything, but yeah, knives are quite prominent. A thief is still a thief. Was your common blood not good enough? My foolish daughter. It's as if she doesn't understand what it means to be of her status, the importance of the succession of royal blood. The princess of a kingdom behaves with the rashness of some townsgirl. Her frivolity is excessive. But even so, even that foolish, frivolous girl. More whips. Is this just a whip, or is there like? I think it is just a whip, isn't it? Like he's not got any like razor blades or anything on there. But I say that again. The state Griffith ends up in, I don't think that would have mattered much right now. Is everything to me. I would give myself, even this kingdom, in exchange for her. She's my whole life. Damn. I don't think we got this much out of him before, did we? Showing how much he cares about his daughter. And he says all this, but he doesn't spend too much time with her or anything, does he? I think. Yeah, who knows? What value is there in this world? Wars rage on and people's lives are lost like they were insects. After how many decades of war and how many tens of thousands of corpses, we've finally built a time of remembered peace, but it's only for an instant. On the underside, the monster named war is always seeking new blood, starting to brew itself anew. Jesus, and now he's just hitting him with a flurry of whips. In the face of that monster, the will of one's land. In the face of that monster, the will of one's land's king is powerless. The wisdom of one man is folly, and yet I cannot cease being king. There's no way I can. There's no way I can stop. In this blood-stained, meaningless world, if there is one single ray of hope to be found, it is warmth. Ah. Only warmth covers and protects me from this world. Quite sad for this guy, isn't it? I mean, your daughter raped like that. Her being that important. He says she's that important to him. I think he is right, but he just, again, he is the king of a kingdom, so he has got plenty to do and such. So I think I can understand him not kind of spending too much time with her and that. Yeah, definitely got to feel bad for him, haven't you? Obviously, feel worse for Charlotte, but having something like that happen to your family, it's always going to impact you a lot as well. As we can see from the anger he's fucking bringing out right here. You've taken the one flower that gives me that warmth and plucked it. Unforgivable. Alas, my poor Charlotte. I brought her up for 17 years. She knowing no impurity. Now that she's given herself up to the sport of a commoner. I'd rather that you, to have been with the Princess Charlotte, would have had her yourself. Oh, don't say that, Griffith. Don't you want her to have you? What are you? I had thought it was strange. In Princess Charlotte's 17 years, there must have been many profitable proposals of marriage. Rather, political marriage is the way of the world. Okay, the text is getting quite small right here. Rather, political marriage is the way of the world for warring nations, but you've refused to let her go. The great king of the throne of Midland, once renowned with majesty throughout all lands, is actually nothing more than a lonely, miserable old man who can't find any reason to live beyond his beloved 17-year-old daughter. Damn. You really want to be in. You really want to be in here, Griffith. I think he does speak the truth here, though, doesn't he? You've lived on by resigning yourself to the monster you envision, but you've by no means tried to harness that monster. While you were born to the sword called the throne and held it, it was nothing more than a burden to you. How dare you? You've done nothing more than not fail. Damn, that's a good way of putting it. You've done nothing more than not fail. You haven't succeeded at all, but you haven't failed, and you've just made sure that you haven't failed this whole time. Is there profit in not failing in life? I guess there is to a certain extent, but I think there's even more to being successful, isn't there? How worthless. Silence! I think that, yeah. Damaran something. I can almost read that. Damaren. I think that says. Oh. Actually, I'm not really sure how that one hurts. When it's wrapped around your body like that. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Kind of hard to tell what's going on with the amount of blood being shed right here. Jesus Christ, he looks like he's just getting an absolute whipping throughout his whole body. Arms, hands, legs, butt, feet. Jesus, look at him. Jesus. Be silent! Silence! Jesus Christ. An absolute ham right here. Again, this was not quite as detailed in the anime or movie, was it? And do you know what? Again, it's kind of deserved for Griffith, so it's almost nice to see in a way. But again, it is still brutal as fuck. What the hell do you know? What does a fool like you know of being king? The land, the history, the lives of people all on your shoulders. What do you know? You have a good point there. That's the thing, you would want to not fail if you've got so many lives on your hands, wouldn't you? Rather than succeed and potentially give up some innocent lives. I think I'd go with the not failing rather than massively succeed personally. It shows that I'm slightly different from Griffith. Again, I do relate to Griffith in some ways, but again, I'm totally different in other ways. Just like with Guts as well, I relate to Guts in some ways, and again, totally different in others. That's what makes the characters though, isn't it? How relatable they are in certain aspects, but again, having distinct features and such that do make them their own kind of characters. But I feel like every character people do love and such, there's some kind of relatable trait or characteristic within them to the person that does like them, that is. Ah. Yeah, it's crazy how a whip can do so much damage, isn't it? Just a piece of rope. And he's still smirking. Again, I still feel quite sad for this king, to be honest with you. Like the facial expressions he makes. Oh shit, there's that fiend. Like with the facial expressions and such, it's just quite sad. Like he's disappointed both in Griffith, that he's lost his one thing he cares for, well, the purity of his daughter. He's still got his daughter, that's the thing. So he can still be happy in that respect, but again, she has been stained, as per se. Yeah, definitely feel for this guy. Fine then. I wonder if that look will last forever. Torturer. Shire. Eh. Eh. And he's got his tools on the ready. Imagine that. They'd do a pretty good job if you were a sadistic motherfucker, wouldn't it? Being a torturer. What's your job? Yeah, I torture people. I think if you do have that job, you probably do deserve to look like this, don't you? Looks very different though. From pretty sure the person we saw that was the torturer was like a normal height, right? I think was there two different versions from the anime and the movies? Again, I kind of forget, but I feel like we've had a few different kind of versions of this torturer. This one looking not like the others. Yes, Shire. Can't speak properly either, can he? Yes, Shire. Do whatever you wish with this man. He has sinned gravely against Midland's royal house. You're certain, Shire? However, you must not kill him. However feebly he shall live another year. However feebly he shall live another year. He shall be made to see the gravity of his crime while he yet draws breath. Ooh, hee hee. Oh, hee hee hee. Listen, I forbid you to tell anyone anything about this. By my royal judicial, I think. Yeah, by my royal judicial power, I shall charge this man personally with treason against Midland's royal house. I must somehow protect my daughter's dignity. If I were to hear about this from anyone else, even just a trifle. So, even if I were to hear about this from anyone else, even just a trifle, they and their entire household, without exception, will be sentenced to death. Yes, sire. So he's kind of keeping the purity of his daughter for everyone else, but not himself. It's kind of fucked up, really, isn't it? And killing him as well. That has some harsh repercussions for knowing the truth, isn't it? Am I still zoomed in? Yeah. You are young, no doubt, your heart burned with dreams and ambition. If you had but known your place, you might possibly have attained them. No, this must have been because you're young. It's disappointing that the white hawk of the battlefield would destroy himself over such a worthless matter. I would never have guessed. I know, right? It was pretty worthless in the end. I mean, Charlotte was his kind of end goal. Well, not really his end goal. It wasn't really the end goal, but it was another kind of pawn to the end goal, wasn't it? Another move. But he just decided to just go, yeah, just fuck it up. Just destroy himself internally by making such a stupid mistake. This is the end of your dreams, your ambition. Everything. The hawk has fallen to earth, and it will never take flight again. Pretty funny, to be honest. Very ironic, considering he gets wings when he turns into Femto. Pretty funny. You know, I guess he does never take flight again. Well, he does, but not on Earth. In hell. Under the world, I guess you could say. Where is Charlotte? Until a bit ago she had been crying, but the doctor gave her medicine and she just fell asleep. Until I say otherwise, no one is to come near this room, and triple the current number of palace guards. Does that not mean that the king would have to kill those maids as well that found out about this? We don't really get a whole lot about this situation after the Griffith stuff, do we? Which is quite disappointing, to be honest. It would be nice to see what more happens with this kind of storyline. But I guess there isn't actually too much to cover after the fact, I guess. Charlotte. The years. have so brought out her mother's face. So he touched these lips. I think that might be his kind of weird fetish and why he kept her so pure and such, because maybe that's the only kind of thing left of his old wife, and maybe he kind of sees her as his kind of inherited wife, if you know what I'm saying, like the replacement, strangely. I think that might have been what they're alluding to with him keeping her pure. He wanted her for himself, perhaps, in that disgusting way. Or it could be more wholesome than that. I'm hoping it was more wholesome than that. But, yeah, I'm not really sure. It doesn't look like it. The fact that he's now putting this stuff down. So this body was touched by his tongue, his fingers. Yeah, it does not look like it was wholesome. Very much not so, actually. That's your fucking daughter, my dude. That is your daughter. Ooh. Oh, bro. Fuck. She woke up? Huh? Well, they said they drugged her. What is this? Oh, that's his beard. And his tongue. Definitely don't think we saw this. Definitely don't think we saw this, did we? Bloody hell. No! Wow, imagine that. You've just been raped by Griffith, and now your dad is licking you naked. Bruh. Yes. Worthless. This is worthless. Oh my god. So yeah, it looks like the king was actually saving her and her purity for maybe when she turned over 18, perhaps, or when she turned into a woman, so that he could have her for himself, which we didn't get in the anime, did we, or the movies? I don't think. We didn't see this more dark side to him again. I always had a little bit of almost faith in him. That again, like I said, I felt bad for him, but fucking not at all now. Well, I say that I still feel bad for Charlotte because she got now raped twice. Well, I guess you can call that a rape because that is fucking disgusting. I'd say that's almost even worse, to be honest, than getting raped by Griffith. Having your dad on you and doing that shit to you almost feels worse, to be honest. But again, I'm not one to say what's above another thing. But yeah, I almost had a little bit of hope for him again after watching the anime and the movies, that he wasn't actually a bad guy. He, again, all up until this point, he was actually okay, but now kind of realizing this stuff and what Griffith brought up about him, yeah, he's actually a very kind of sad, disgusting man, isn't he? Sad in the fact that, again, I'm pretty sure it kind of relates to that his wife leaving, like that's the last thing she left, but his replacement for his dead wife is his daughter, which is not the replacement, if you know what I'm saying. That's a completely new life, a completely new person. That was more disgusting than I thought it would be, to be honest with you, this chapter. And I was not expecting that at all. That's quite a major change, actually, from the anime, isn't it? Definitely do not want to go back and look at that again. But yeah, we'll get into the next one now. A Demise of a Dream. On my YouTube real quick, just because it likes pausing if you don't touch it for a while. Okay, I think that's fine. And it's paused. Oh, Jesus Christ. Are they just the whips? I guess it's a bit more than just the whips, isn't it now? Demise of a Dream. Oh, we're carrying this shit on right now. No! Oh, that's a big fall. Yeah. I'd expect your face to be quite a bit even more scared than that, to be honest with you. Jesus Christ. Imagine that, going from one day that happening with Griffith, and then literally the next day, I'm pretty sure of this shit. What in the fuck? Wait, Charlotte! No! He really looks like even more of a disgrace now as well, doesn't he? Looks like a scoundrel. There's a lot of nudity during these chapters. I was not expecting this amount of nudity either. They have to do a bit more censoring as well. What's he going to do here? Is he going to grab her? Oh, really? Like, you're not stopping? He's going to lick her. Oh! Looks like she's kicked him. Oh my god. Wow, imagine seeing that through your legs as a female. Yeah. That'd be horrific. That'd be nightmare inducing having that as a girl. Spread your legs and then you see that. Lord Griffith! And she's calling out to Griffith as well, which I think shows how bad the situation is. Like I said, I think this is even worse than the Griffith one. Because the Griffith one was kind of non-contextual, but also she wasn't that opposed to it, if you know what I'm saying. She obviously, it was still rape and such, but she wasn't awfully disgusted like a situation like this, where now she's even calling to her rapist from the night before for help with her father. I think just shows how fucked up this is. Look at that. I hate these shots of him in between her legs like this. Yeah, just boot him. Just keep fucking booting him in the face, please. Yes, Charlotte. Yes. Fuck him up. Aye. Yeah. Well, thank God he's fucking gone, little rat. What happens to Charlotte now then? I think this guy's still king. Surely he's not gonna like accept this. Just gonna kill her now then, do you reckon? What a fucking horrible situation she's in right here though. What does she do? Like, she's a princess, you can't just run away. Save me. Lord Griffith. Save me. Damn you. Damn you. Griffith. Well, that was disgusting. A lot more disgusting stuff than I was expecting today. Like I said, I thought we were just going to see the torture stuff, but wow. That was certainly distasteful and disgusting. I don't think I can show any of that. But at least not much of it at all, to be honest. That whole portion there with the father stuff. Not sure I can show any of that. What could this be about? I think I can actually. Well, I don't think I can, but I think I will. I can, but I can't. If you know what I'm saying. By the rules, I can't. but by YouTube uploading and stuff, I've never had a problem with anything uploaded for Berserk, even with the nudity and such. So the thing is, I probably will be able to upload that just fine. Whether people report it or not is, again, kind of up to them, but I've never had anything kind of taken down for being adult material like that or anything. So the thing is, I could get away with it, but do I want to get away with putting something that disgusting up? I don't think so. I don't mind too much about the kind of gore and such. Like I have no hesitation to putting that stuff up, but again, kind of delicate matters like that, yeah, no. What could this be about? Griffith calling us out here suddenly. I'm guessing training without any equipment, and it's riding practice, right? He never came back to the barracks yesterday. I guess he really was in shock. Dumbass. Is Griffith the type who'd let that get him down? Apologies, guys. He was out having fun. Yeah, but will you give it a rest? Look here, Griffith ain't gonna fall apart just because that jerk split. Caucus? Captain Guts? Looks like a couple of Captain Guts' men are crying. Huh. Still, Griffith is sure late. Pippin hears something. What's up, Pippin? And this is the first time I think he speaks in the manga. Everyone, take cover! And what a time that is to speak, saving everyone's lives right here. Yeah? Pippin shouted? That's where you know shit's going down. As a rain of arrows comes. Again, arrows, I've always said this, they're always such an OP weapon for back in these days, aren't they? Such an OP weapon. Like guns, they're like having guns back in like the 1500s. Did they have guns back then? I'm really not good at history. Like I've said before as well, I've done medicine history and I cheated on the test and I still failed, so that just shows how good I am at history. That's because I had to take the test by myself because I missed it originally, and then I had my phone with me and it was just me in a room alone, which you'd think they'd have better observation, but no, it's just me in my room, in a room alone, and I had my phone on me, and again I still failed. I didn't really know what to search up, to be honest, so it wasn't actually even that much help. I did try though. I did attempt to cheat, but yeah, they're so overpowered, man. I think they did have kind of gunpowder and cannons and such in this time. I don't think they had the guns, obviously, we know to today's standard, but I think in some form they could shoot things. Even so, arrows are just, yeah, ridiculously powerful back in these days. The fact that they're kind of silent as well, almost. Obviously, a rain of arrows like these, you'd be able to hear, like Pippin did here, you'd be able to hear so many arrows kind of fly through the sky. But one arrow, for example, you'd never hear coming. What? What the? Enemies? And the worst part is you could potentially live after being hit with quite a few arrows, but also you could just get one shot, like hit through the heart. And this guy got absolutely destroyed in his face. But like I said, like this guy could still, actually no, there's one right for his brain. He could still live with one for his brain like that. I guess it depends how far it went in and what area. But this guy could actually live. It's the scary part as well. Wow! Look! And there's a whole army ready to attack them. All around them. So that's the band in the middle. So on the high ground we've got soldiers, on the low ground below them we've got soldiers. On the other side of this river we've got soldiers as well, which is interesting. But look how many there are on this left side here. 1, 2, 3, 4 groups at the forefront here. 5 groups actually. 5, and then there's even more behind them if you can kind of make them out. So there's a shit ton of people right here ready to kill them. All for Griffith's actions. That's the thing. That's the thing with Griffith, isn't it? It's quite. It makes the point that the king made in the last chapter a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? About the king actually looking after all the people within the kingdom and such. It kind of shows that with Griffith's actions with Charlotte, he didn't even give a care about what those actions would mean for both himself or the Band of the Hawk as well, and getting them all killed. It's quite interesting, isn't it? And obviously he alludes to what comes later on as well, the eclipse. To troops? Has Tudor driven across the border? No, that's Midland. The Midland Army? They're just getting mowed down right now. Son of a bitch! What the hell's going on? Are we gonna bite it here? Got Pippin, man, just take the arrows with his arm. Best place to take him, honestly, isn't it? I mean, you can't really take him with your legs. Obviously not your chest, you're not your head. The only place you can reasonably take arrows with is your arm. And your arm will get messed up. I think with arm as big as Pippin, so it won't get as messed up, of course, but yeah, if you take him in your legs, you could die. Chest, you could die. In the head, you could die. So there's nowhere else you can really save yourself from these arrows, is there? Form ranks. If we scatter and run, we're all dead. Why? Get into wedge formation. We'll break through at one point and escape. Sis, look out! 5 arrows coming for her. Griffith! Quite funny, isn't it? Everyone's looking to Griffith right now for their hope, for their inspiration. I guess that's the kind of bad thing that comes with kind of devoting yourself to Griffith and his dreams, and again, not following your own dreams or following another man's dreams. Is that when it comes to time like these, are you ready to save yourself? Are you ready to lead yourself out of these situations? I think Casca, again, she's come quite a way, hasn't she? She's changed quite a lot, as with what we've seen with her in Guts and their kind of storyline. I think at the minute, she's obviously a very good leader and such. She took charge when she done that kind of flanking around the back of the castle with Koboltwitz and such. She's obviously shown to be a very good leader, and she's very respected by all the Band of the Hawk members, calling her big sis. All of them very much kind of calling her big sis and liking her in that way. But I feel like she is kind of coming out of that shell, if you know what I'm saying. She's not as much in Griffith's dream or just following his ambition as much as she's just kind of figuring things out for herself at the minute. So I feel like it makes sense for her to kind of lead everyone out of this situation. But again, it's just a good point of a lot of these people do just look forward to Griffith and look to him for all the answers and such. So in situations like these, a lot of them would be stuck and just killed off, wouldn't they? But Charlotte, Casca now, I think that's indicative of Casca saying this, or it could just be a lot of the Band of the Hawk in general just asking for Griffith and where he's at and for him to help out. He's such a shining light. Yeah, look at his pose. He almost looks like Jesus right now, doesn't he? He almost looks like Jesus right now, but also he's the one who got you guys into this situation, and he's not going to help. He can't, even if he wanted to. You're amazing. This much torture, and you haven't made a peep. I've never seen so much. That's the leader of the Hawks for you. I'm so moved. Letting me do whatever I want with such a beautiful, splendid one like you. The king's so gracious. Oh, that's great. Neat, I can keep this. Guy's very fat, but he's got very small legs, hasn't he? I noticed that with the king as well. The king is not overly fat or anything, but he's got really small legs as well. Guys need to work on their leg day. But Griffith is not in the worst shape right now, ever, is he? Oh shit, they're going for his hands. Yeah, he's got the chains going through his hands. Fucking hell. Yee! And that's where he drops the ballot into the sewage. Ah! What a waste! I went and dropped it. And we'll see that again later. And yeah, that looks like that was the end of the chapters. Again, what the comments are saying. 6th slide was crazy. I don't want to go back up. So yeah, I'm not gonna go back up today. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. On that point, again, a lot more disgusting than I thought it would be today. Not in the fact of what I was thinking either. Like I mentioned in the intro, I thought we were going to get a lot of torture stuff, a lot of kind of brutality towards Griffith, which we did see with the king kind of brutalizing him with the whip. We've seen a little bit of torture towards him, not really all that much, to be honest. And not to a massive extent either. Again, Griffith isn't even looking too bad right now. And I've seen quite a bit worse in horror movies and such, of people like being skinned and like cut right in half in like Terrifier, for example. So I've seen a whole lot worse than this, to be honest with you. And I thought we'd get quite a lot of disgusting stuff in that sense. I think we might see a little bit more of that down the line when we see when it's close to Griffith coming out of this situation. Again, I think it's only been a day since his torturing started, so still got plenty of time left for that. And again, I'm quite happy to see that, honestly. I'm not like thriving to see Griffith fucking brutalized or anything, but again, it does very much feel deserved to an extent. I'd also like to see the king brutalized as well, but obviously that's not going to happen because that was absolutely disgusting. Again, I did not expect absolutely any of that. No one told me about any of that either, about all this disgustingness with the king and his father. I'm glad you guys didn't, to be honest, because I didn't really want to hear about it if you guys did bring it up, and I definitely didn't want to see it because again, that was absolutely disgusting. And yeah, was quite taken aback by that, honestly. I was kind of asking in the first chapter if that could have been the case, wasn't I? Of the father actually being a kind of bad person and looking for his own interests rather than his daughter's, and to have her as his kind of replacement for his wife and his kind of pure sex kind of girl. Again, it's just disgusting to think about, and the fact that actually happened as well, and it wasn't just the ambiguous question of that, which was what I kind of thought all the way up until this point. Like, is the king a bad guy? It didn't seem like it. He didn't ever do anything too bad throughout the whole anime or movies, or up until this point in the manga even. And then obviously we get this kind of switch up, which makes sense. Again, it's all been kind of ambiguous regarding that, and turns out it is, and with most cases in Berserk, it is the more disgusting side of the story, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely disgusting. Hope to never see that again, and I don't think I will, hopefully. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about these chapters down in the comment section. I doubt you guys would have actually seen much of it, because I am going to try and cover that up, because again, I really don't think I want to show that on my YouTube channel. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about these chapters down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. I'll be back. When am I going to be back? I'm going to be back on Thursday in a couple of days with chapters. Arms tournament. Ooh, that could be interesting. Tournament. And the fugitives. Oh, we've seen that artwork before. So yeah, I'm going to be back with Arms Tournament and the fugitives in the next couple of chapters, so hopefully you can join me then, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.